Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be discussing the basics of shading. If you're new at drawing, shading can be a very intimidating technique, but with a little practice, you'll soon be able to manipulate light and create whatever you want. Don't know where to start? I broke it down into 3 simple steps that anyone can follow. Step number 1 is to create a shadow using a gradient, and this will just imply light where you need it. Step number 2 is to apply said gradient on a shape to create a 3-dimensional object, and we are going to be using a sphere today because that is generally the easiest shape to learn off of. The last step is something that you'll never stop doing, and that is learning how to apply shadows on objects or people, places, things. And this just takes practice. Alright, so step 1, gradients. A gradient is a transition from the blackest blacks to the whitest whites, and it includes everything in between. The very first gradient that I am using is with a charcoal pencil. Now this is my go-to because it can create a very rich black if needed, but also a very light gray, depending on how light your hand is. Light-handedness can take a bit, so always practice on that. The next gradient I am creating is with a number 2 pencil. Now this is a tool that everyone has lying around the house. I like this because it's very blendable and it is very subtle, so you don't have to start off with a very black marking. So if you have a heavy hand like I did, this would be a really great start tool. The next gradient I am creating is with a charcoal pencil again, but this time I am going to be showing you what it looks like with a blending tool. Now this would be really good to learn off if you have very streaky gradients, or if you just cannot nail that blending. This is a really great starter, and I use this in all of my drawings, and it's just fantastic to have a blending tool around. And finally, I am just going to show you a gradient made out of color. So it gets a little bit more complicated when it comes to adding colors, because eventually you'll be working with essentially a rainbow of colors. But for right now, if you're just trying to learn the basics, just start off with using some colors. And just for a recap, I used a number 2 pencil, a Crayola crayon red colored pencil, 2 charcoal pencils, and a blending tool. You can tell when you have created a perfect gradient when you squint at it, and it is a perfect transition. There's no lines, it's not blocky, it's just absolutely smooth. Alright, so once your gradient is smooth, you've completed task 1. Good job. For task number 2, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to apply the gradient like you would a shadow, or how you would use it to shade. And I'm going to walk you through a very simple process of applying the shadow to a sphere to make it go from a circle to a 3-dimensional shape. Alright, so starting off, I'm going to go ahead and start with that basic circle. It doesn't have to be perfect, so don't worry about that. Right now I am drawing a sun. This will represent our light source. This will be good training wheels for those of you who don't know how to pick a light source yet. And right now I'm just carving out where it will hit, and this will really serve as the guidelines of how to put in my shadows and where. And learning shadow placement is very important in the learning process. You'll start to notice the opposites quite a lot. So pretty much you'll start to get that automatic feel in the future for where to put the shadows, where the light hits, and how the object blocks the light and thus creates the shadow. So right now I'm going to go ahead and mark the highlight and the low light, so the brightest point and the darkest points. Now they are complete opposites of each other. You'll notice that the highlight is on the top right and the low light is on the bottom left. Alright, so here's where the gradient starts coming into play. So right now I am going to divide it into 3 sections: the dark, the middle, and the highlight. So here's the 3 sections. So right now I'm just going to go ahead and start applying that gradient on the sphere. So right now I'm starting off with the darkest points, and I'm just going to build up from there. And you'll see me start to slowly build up. I'll go ahead and speed it up, and you can see exactly how I'm building it up. Alright, so now I'm just going to go ahead and blend it, and I was not satisfied with that gradient, so I'm going to go in with a charcoal pencil and just really darken it up and really add that 3-dimensional shape to it. Just really start adding in those darks. Alright, so I'm just going to clean it up, and yeah, you can start to see where that light, the highlight hits, and where the shadows start to extend. Alright, so now that you have a feel for how highlights hit objects and how shadows extend, task number 2 has been completed. Alright guys, we have made it to the final step. Now this is the step that you and I will never stop learning, because it's how to apply shadows to different shapes, in different lightings, with different contrast. Every new drawing that you do will be a new challenge, but also a new learning experience. So go ahead and start practicing as much as you can, don't let anyone tell you otherwise, and just keep on drawing. Thank you guys very much for watching my video. I hope I simplified this concept even just a little bit. If you have any questions, leave them down below. I'll be more than happy to answer. I'll leave my links down below where you can view my art and also buy it, and I'll see you next time.